forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that.
Good morning, Robertson County.
Good morning.
Wow. Okay, I'm not hearing that. Where's my phone? All right, we are here at 1 Street Over. I'm filling in for Miss Laverne. This is Deborah, and we have the privilege of having Mayor Billy Vogle here today with us. And wow, what a meeting last night.
Yes, did you get to watch it?
I got to be part of it. Let me make sure we're...
Okay, was you there?
I was there.
So you know how I feel this morning.
Well, I'm not sure. I wasn't at the whole part. Let's see here. Ilyu, hopefully we got everything off. We've got everything good. All right. Well, let me see if we're live here. I think we're live, but I'm not hearing you.
Okay, you can't hear me? Hey, tell somebody to maybe send an email or something right quick, or if they hear us, okay? Because
because I want to make sure we.
And this gives me time to gather my wits.
Yes. Let's call Ilyu and see what he says there. Well, I've got it started.
While we're talking, how did you get into this?
God's got a sense of humor. Yeah. Good morning. You tried to call me?
Excuse me?
This is Deborah. Are we on?
Yes, you good.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, you tried to call. Thanks. All right. Okay. All right. Well, as long as we're on, we got a lot to do, but I'll tell you what, I was really impressed that you opened your session with a prayer.
We always have, always will.
Yeah, so
always will and always have. And do the pledge and
the Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer. I mean, the honor and the respect. Yeah. I want to say only in a small town. I was really impressed with that.
Well, we do that at church too.
Yeah, of course.
We open with the pledge, and have prayer. Of course, we have prayer, but we do the pledge, and I think it's pretty neat to see the little kids stand up and do the pledge because they'll say it louder than the adults.
Well, you're instilling a respect and a pride for our country, which is severely lacking in some areas. So. Oh
yes. Well, I'm going to tell you, the flag represents all of us, and those soldiers that gave it all that we could have our freedoms. It doesn't need to be taken for granted or taken lightly at all. Absolutely not.
Well, we're going to open with the prayer. When I'm on with Lee Marie, I open with the prayer. And so we're just going to follow suit. Is that okay with you?
Fine.
All right. Well, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before your presence with thanksgiving, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for the friendship and this county, Lord, for your hand upon Robertson County, giving wisdoms to its leaders, Lord, to guide them, Father God, to the place that you want to go to establish the things that you want in this county, Lord. I thank you for our Mayor, Billy Vogle. I thank you that you've given him wisdom, Lord, to do his purpose in this county, in this city. And I thank you for this radio program. And Lord, the hearers that are out there today, Lord, I thank you that they are blessed by the hearing and that we will have words of wisdom to speak to them. And we give you all the glory for our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So, well, I do believe in walking day by day with him. And so I was excited to have the privilege of interviewing you today.
Well,
So
I'm glad to hear that because, I've been in county politics now before we start. 1998, before the election in 98, I got appointed county commissioner. I don't think I've ever been through a budget like this one. We started in April, and we went into May and June, and then the budget committee started doing cutting and things like that. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's a lot of work involved.
I imagine before you get started in all that, I know I'm kind of a newbie, here. And tell me, just take like 2 minutes and tell me, who is Billy Vogel? Who are you? I know you're probably your husband, your dad, your father. Who are you, and a little bit about your background?
I don't know who I am sometimes.
Uh-oh, we better start over. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Well, I was when Daddy come out of the Army. Of course, jobs was short, and he was in Germany and everything, and jobs was short, and he come back, and we all had come off. He come off the family farm and went to Nashville and got a job at Jersey Farms Milk Company,
Wow. Okay.
which that's not around anymore. So I started in the Nashville school system,
Okay.
and then I remember when I was always interested in politics, but I remember when Nashville went metropolitan government, how the political sides did. And even as a little kid, I could hear that it made sense for Nashville to be a metropolitan government because of all the different cities. And you had people, people say, I don't believe in big government. Well, when you got like 15 mayors in one county, if that ain't big government, what is? So, and then I got interested in politics at an early age. I got to see Frank Clement one time do a Easter morning sunrise service.
Mm-hmm.
Was very
Oh,
impressed
wow.
with him. Very impressed. This guy, but you talking about somebody who could talk and had a voice that carried. And I won't never forget that.
So that impressed you, right?
Yeah, it impressed me. And then when my granddaddy had a farm, and every summer I'd go down there and stay with him.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in about 8th grade, I went down there and I decided I wasn't coming back.
Uh-oh.
It was just, you wake up in Nashville with sirens every day, and down there you never heard a siren. You never heard a siren. You could see the stars. He had a creek run through his farm that was just like to me the Cumberland River. He had a tree house over it, and I enjoyed working on the farm.
That's beautiful, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a beautiful memory and a heritage.
Yeah, I just enjoyed working on the farm, so I stayed with it. Stayed with my uncle and worked on his farm until I got married, and we was able to buy a few acres, and then we saved our money and bought some more, and that's how I ended up in Robeson County. Went to Joe Burns.
Okay, I
And,
know that place.
Yeah, and then I got to be elected to county commissioner, like I say, in '98.
Wow, you've
G.K.
been
Anderson.
at this a minute, haven't
Yeah,
you? then?
G.K. Anderson was the county commissioner, and G.K. was a great county commissioner. And I always said I wanted to run, but not while he wanted it. And he resigned in the middle of the year, and I seen then, and I said, this is something I want to do. Mm-hmm. And here I am, the mayor.
Wow. And so, how long have you been the county mayor of Robertson County?
Finishing up my 5th year.
Wow.
Yeah, I tell kids when I go read to them, if I can be the mayor, they can be anything. They can be a banker, astronaut, or whatever.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because if I can be the mayor,
Well, yeah.
so it's like I said, this budget here, I've never seen what we've been through before.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some new commissioners. There's new ideas. The country's headed in different directions, and I see
Yes,
it with my
sir.
county commissioners. Some got this agenda that they really like, but they may not be so hot on another one. And when you're trying to get 24 of them together, it's different. It's different.
That's what it's about, though, right? You have people representing different.
Yeah, it's but some of them
zones.
represent the cities, some of them represent the rural area, and then
Right.
and then you got it's just a different float your boat,
Well, yeah, but but you have different float your boat in Robertson County, so it's good to have the diverse ideas and bringing them to the table. And I did notice they were quite, last night they didn't hesitate to share their thoughts and their opinions, and I kind of appreciated that because you really need to hear out
Yeah,
the people that are coming up.
we're a pretty civil bunch too. It's we may not all agree alike, but we all know we're doing it for the best thing for Robeson County.
Yes, and you're working together for good, right? And
Yes.
and I really appreciated all the officers that were there in the fire department and just honoring them. That you gave honor to a couple that had just retired.
Yeah, Dusty Johnson and his wife has been. He's a fire chief of Orlando for years, and he just retired. And of course, a lot of officers there is for security, and then the ambulance service. We're trying to help them out with a good pay raise, and they was there in support.
Yes.
It's a lot of citizens was there. Usually we don't have that many unless we
wow.
have a big zoning issue that's really controversial.
I don't know. You had a big issue last night, so
Yes,
you know.
we did.
I think I'm surprised there weren't more people, but they were watching online. So
I thought there'd be more for the hearing than it was, but it was a good crowd.
yeah. So tell us about this budget and the tax increase because
Okay.
personally for myself, when I got that little postcard in the mail,
Yeah.
and it said, oh my gosh, 2.5 times the value that I had been taxed on before.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit shocked. And then last night I'm listening and it's going like manufactured homes are going to get more taxed. And, whoa, what is this? And, oh, don't worry about that. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about the little tax assessment. But if you're doing an increase on property tax and you've already doubled or tripled the quote assessed value of your property, I was concerned.
Right.
So
A lot
just
of
help me
people-
out here.
I didn't even open mine up because I've been there before. Every 5 years, the state does a reappraisal,
Okay.
and there's nothing I can really do about it. So we base ours on like 25% of the appraised value per 100 on 1,000, and I knew that when it come up that there would be a increase on a penny, what a penny brings.
Mm-hmm.
The house was appraised at $182,000 last year,
Okay.
4 years ago.
Right.
Now it's at over 300,000.
And do you think that's going to go back down? I do.
Oh no!
I mean,
man.
as far as the value, as far as selling, because I think it was inflated.
I think home sales are the interest rate's going to slow that down,
Okay.
but I don't think them houses are going to get any cheaper.
They're just,
I mean, as long as people are moving in here and spending that money on our houses, they will not go down.
okay.
And there's a lot of people moving in here. The interest rate won't. I read an article yesterday in Nashville on your $1.2 million homes over there. People that's got the money, the interest rate's not scaring them at all.
No, we have a lot of influx from other states and even like coming in from California, for instance, which I
Yes.
see every day. They've got a 1-bedroom efficiency for what you can buy a whole house for.
Yeah, I got 5 in my Sunday school class that's moved in.
Yeah.
And they're coming here, folks. I mean, that's one thing about the budget was so important last night. We've got to prepare for this. And if you're not prepared, you're going to see some hard days where people's going to be calling because they can't get an ambulance or the sheriff can't cover everybody.
Right.
And the school systems are going to be overloaded. The court system,
We're seeing that already.
we're seeing that already. Growth does not pay for itself.
So
If you're selling utilities, yeah, it's great. But if you're building schools and having to furnish the services
yes.
that for like that first responders and fire, it don't pay for itself.
Now there was a new tax on new builders. Was it impact or?
Springfield had one last year.
Yeah.
We haven't raised ours in 8 years.
Well, I'm wondering if that you have new people that are coming in, pass along some of that tax to help for the growth to the new people coming in. That was just some comments that had come to me.
Yeah.
If instead of the citizens, I don't know if you can pass it along to the new people coming in.
The impact fee is not great. It's the best way to turn that thermostat, other than interest rates, is turn that thermostat either speed housing up or slow it down.
Right.
Yeah. We're at $2 a foot.
Okay.
And when we went to $2 a foot, I had many developers calling me, fussing.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, look, if you're going to pay a developer $200 to $250 a foot to build you a house, don't you think you can at least give the county $2 of it
Yes.
to help go towards schools? And that's to help too, to keep the burden off the people that's been in this county, for years.
Yeah,
and years.
that was, to put it over there instead of.
And like some counties, like Williamson County, they put like, $50,000 for a building lot now.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's the impact fee.
Okay.
And the mayor down there told me it has not slowed down a bit.
So there you go. So that's one thing that maybe can help out a little bit. And so I didn't watch the whole thing. Yeah. I had some other things, but I was there, and like I said, I was impressed with the order of the meeting and kind of surprised at some of the comments that were being made. So tell me about what are we doing with this budget and how, the tax increase. Tell me a little bit about why the tax increase, what it's going to be used for, those type
Well,
of things.
first let me mention it. We haven't had a tax increase in 8 years. And as the mayor, I'm telling you right now, I'm shocked. For any county to go that long is unreal.
So do you know why?
Because one thing, you're building schools, and if you're giving pay raises to your employees, our
Right.
health insurance goes up 10 to 11% every
But
year.
why didn't they have a tax increase along? I'm just curious.
We had enough revenue coming in to kind of offset it.
Okay.
Now last night, I have to admit, we passed a budget last night with more expense than we got revenue. It's something that will have to be answered on down the road.
Okay.
You
So
know,
what
even-
did the increase actually end up being?
We increased it from $1.64. It went to, the old rate was $2.57.
Okay.
And then when houses of values went up a house to $300,000, that brought that rate down to $1.66, $65.
Okay.
And so we're down at $1.65. Well, our revenues this year came in shorter than projected. First time I've seen that in a long time. And so we're just going to have to do the budget committee rather than they settled in at $1.87, which been on a $300,000 house would have been about $22 a month.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is not bad. I mean, you're talking about a Coca-Cola a day. So, yeah. So we had some amendments come in last night about lowering it. And it's what I haven't never seen before. Usually when we work on the budget and try to lower taxes, we cut expenses.
Okay.
But that didn't happen last night. The commissioners that brought it up about the amendment, in fact, raised expenses $1.2 million. And
Well, do you know what that was for?
it was for fire service, which the budget committee has not seen the numbers on the fire, what we're going to give fire departments, because the mayors of the cities that we contract that with some of them hadn't got all their paperwork in yet. And still, that's got to come before the fire committee, be voted on, and then we'll go to the budget committee.
Okay.
Don't nothing come in county government that don't go in front of that budget committee.
Yeah, I think that is vital though, because with
Yeah.
the growth, you have the emergency service and the fire and the police, and I don't have a problem with them getting an increase. They do jobs that you and I wouldn't want to do
No, I'm
to help
telling you,
protect our
the
city.
sheriff's department's about 28 positions open.
Yeah,
A lot of them's in the jail. Nobody wants to work there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not, and
It's
and
not
to,
a pretty
and to
thing.
get people there, we got to pay a salary.
Yeah,
Yeah, and to keep our EMS workers, we got to pay salaries competitive to Sumner and Metro and Montgomery County, and they're bigger. A penny in Robs County brings in $306,000. A penny in Williamson County brings in $1.5 million.
wow.
Rutherford County.
So we don't have the numbers yet, but how were part of the budget allocated to give these emergency service and the sheriff's department and all of that a raise?
Yes.
Because that was important.
That was in the budget, yes. It's I don't like being compared to Sumner and Nashville and Rutherford. And Rutherford County's got a great mayor named Joe Carr, very conservative person. But this is his first year being the county mayor, and he was shocked. They had to raise their taxes, I think, he was asking for 17 cents.
Wow.
He said, I hate it. This is not the person I am, but we can't survive as a county. The counties are limited on the income they got coming in because of most of the cities get a lot of the commercial money, and we're pretty well, all we got that we can put our fist on is property tax. That's it.
Okay.
And to build the schools and stuff, and
So let's talk about schools. I'm seeing an influx of homeschools because of some of the things that are going on in our crazy world, that a lot of parents are choosing to homeschool their children, kind of to protect them from an ideology that's against their moral beliefs. I mean, I'm not saying that against our public school system, but there's a lot of crazy going on, and there's a lot of homeschool. So if you have a lot of homeschool, you may not have the increase in the public school system that you're thinking.
I don't know what the numbers are. I didn't see an increase in it to maybe. I mean, I'm not hearing of an increase.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
I do know.
I am.
I'm hearing charter schools are popular, but I have to admit I'm not against charter schools, but I really think the one that came before us last year, I didn't hear the numbers. I didn't hear the financial that I was comfortable with.
Oh, wow. I heard some good statistics on
Yeah.
them raising the education and the
Yeah, I heard that
levels.
too. They talked a good talk, but
It was good.
I didn't hear the financial. If I was comfortable as a parent or something, I didn't hear that.
I didn't think it was going to add to the burden of the finances. The charter schools were kind of a choice.
Well, to me as a person,
And that's not homeschool. That's a whole nother.
yeah, it's a whole different. I mean, I went into it with open mind, but I didn't hear we're bringing $10 million to the table. We're doing this. I just heard we're going to start out to first through 3 grades, and we'll see what happens, and we'll try to build on from there.
I think they were trying to maybe prove themselves to show you the effect, because our statistics on education, on levels of reading, writing, and arithmetic, which is what our focus should be on, those levels are kind of low in this county. But so I think that was more their focus is on that. But again, that is something I don't have a vast knowledge of, but
Me neither.
I've heard a little bit about it, and I was actually I did study their website and went through that a little bit, because I was impressed with the taking some of the areas that they had taken in other
Yeah, I met
places
with
and
them.
bring it up.
Yeah, I
Good.
met with them and Raymond.
I love Raymond Francis.
And all them. I met with them and was very open to it. I'm a type of person, when I hear one side, I go listen to the other side. And
Yeah.
usually somewhere in the middle, you'll find the truth.
Well, I hope you'll revisit that one down the road. I hope you will. But
Oh,
again,
I will. It'll be back. Yeah.
yeah, I think it will. I think it will. So I'm going to stop and go to a commercial break,
Okay.
and then we will. Let's see. I said I was going to stop. How about Corbin Creek? I love Corbin Creek.
Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center, your one stop for everything you need for summer, for your yard, for your garden, beautiful things for your porch and your home. Great gift ideas. If you've got a gift that you need, go into the greenhouse. You're going to find something alive and beautiful, and then go into the office, go into the gift shop, and there you're going to find handcrafted items, some really cool stuff from Miss Jane, and you're going to find Robertson County CBD. CBD produced from plants grown right here in Robertson County by Amy's brother Bill. Those plants were grown by him, and that is processed into the products you find there at Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. I swear by them for my arthritis problems, and it may really be a game changer for you as well. Everything you need, if you've got questions and things that you just want to run by Amy, give her a call at 615-384-3185, or just stop by and see her at 4920 Highway 161. They're at the Farmers Market every week as well, and they're 9 to 5 right now, Monday through Saturday, 1 to 4 on Sunday. Got a vegetable garden that's going to be coming in anytime with fresh vegetables and produce. Go and see them today. Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Tell them U-Turn sent you.
Well, I love that Corbin Creek. I go there and get my flowers and all kind of good things. They're a wonderful family. So if you need some good, beautiful flowers or produce or any of the above, be sure to give them a stop. They're just right off of Highway 161. So today we are in studio with Mayor Billy Vogle, and we had quite an interesting committee meeting last night. So we're going to turn it back over to you, Mayor Billy, and just did we cover the tax increase? Can you tell us again, just like maybe some bullet points? Was it 9%, 10%, 11? I know you were asking for 14. What did it end up being?
I think it probably ended up around 8.
8?
Yeah. From $1.66 to $1. Well, the proposed budget that one commissioner brought was $1.74, and we settled at $1.80, from $1.87 to $1.80, and then one was $1.74 that didn't pass. So you're looking, we kind of compromised and hit in the middle there.
Okay.
And what kind of impressed me was, if you're looking at 8 cents or whatever, we, for not to have a budget increase or tax increase in 8 years, that ain't bad.
Yeah, just what we can do with it, right? So that's going to
if
cover.
if we can make it, yeah.
You're going to make it. You got to have
Oh, I mean,
faith.
I got faith, ma'am, but I do know that everybody comes to my
Right.
desk, he's got their hand stuck out for money.
Right. There's
I
the
mean, I met with a group of lawyers
natural law.
Friday
Yeah.
that wants a juvenile, a justice system, and you're probably looking at $20 or $30 million.
Yes, you have
And
some.
you heard the commissioner that wanted a building in case of emergencies where everybody could, like after tornadoes or something, we could run it out of. Hey, that's probably going to be another 30 or 40 million there. And the schools is talking about 2 schools. And
Okay.
and that's the thing about fund balance. I've heard people call it slush funds and stuff. Your fund balances, you go to the bank and you want to borrow some money, and they ask you, where are you going to put up the collateral? And you say, well, I ain't got nothing. Well, you're not going to get any money.
You're not going to get it
Your
back.
fund balance is your collateral to prove if the country went broke that you could still make your payment.
Okay.
And when you start pulling away from your fund balance, your borrowing power dwindles fast. And to meet the needs that this county is going to need in the future, whether you're for growth or not, it's coming. You've got to be able to put the money up and have a bond rating that somebody will loan you the money.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of increase in, a subject it's real. I'm seeing groups of people just being dropped off in our city that are not citizens or however. I know. I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to go there? It's affecting the school. It's affecting the police, the jails, everything is affecting. And so you're going to be dealing with some of that because we're all going to be dealing with some of that. And I love all peoples. It's not that. I think it's almost unfair to take a group of people and just dump. They don't know the language. They don't know the laws. They don't know the customs. And we're going to be, as a county, working with that. So your thoughts?
Well, that's just the way this world is. It's always somebody going to be paying for somebody that can't.
Okay.
Is it fair? I mean, I think the Christian thing to do is to help people.
I agree to helping
people. People are coming here that don't want to be here. That's against the law. But most of them's coming looking for a better place.
Okay.
I do know the farming community couldn't work without H-2A workers because our people don't want to work no more. Well, I've experienced that myself.
Yeah, I don't know if I can argue with you on that one.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the workers and and that type of thing. So, but you're going to need schools and you're going to need extra classes. And
yes, ma'am. And every child in this country deserves a chance.
I agree. I think that's the part that saddens me is the children. Different. Well, not just the children, because I don't disagree on having a better life. It's just, but it is a fact, and it's a financial equation that that we're dealing with. So.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So some other things that we've kind of covered, the tax increase, and you're saying that's going to went up about 8% instead of the 14 that was proposed.
Yes. Hey, I know there's people in this county that don't want one period.
Well,
yeah,
of course we don't want one, but
I didn't want gas to go up $3.55.
Your gas and your people that are having to buy groceries.
We've got to buy gas for patrol cars. We've got to buy
Yes.
gas for the buses. The state mandates us to trade buses out every so often. And, but I'll tell you this, Robertson County balances their budget. I can't say that for Washington, D.C.
Well, there's that. That's huge.
There what?
I said, that's huge.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
That is huge. We've got, we have to look at the costs. And I'm not against having an increased tax. I understand it's because as long as we're, allocating, appropriately. And I'm sure that it's very difficult, as you mentioned earlier, just having the 24 commissioners and all the different thoughts and values, how to balance everything out. So I will commend you on doing that, and I will continue to pray for you. Wisdom.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we had other things going on. Anything else that you want to
I just want to say that solid waste sanitation, we was able to keep that amount the same. Our trash situation in Robertson County takes 0.04 of 1 penny to run. That shows we're running it like a business. and we're one of the very few counties that offers free trash when you don't go to a convenience center. Most of them don't. We're spending $300,000 a month
Wow.
sending our trash outside the county, and that's, to me, that's, we got a great county. That's the reason they're coming here. Even the people that's fussing about the tax increase left somewhere to come here because they's paying a lot more. And no offense,
Yeah.
the ones that's coming here is we got to furnish more services. We're still the cheapest county to live in around Middle Tennessee. And I think people take that for granted, and we're blessed to be that way.
Well, I hope some of the people that come in, when we talk to them, it's like, don't bring those, ideologies that made you leave where you are here. Just come and assimilate and
Well, that's
add
not
to.
going to happen. I got people in California telling me how we need to be living, and I tell them, I said, we've done all right so far,
Go back if you don't like it here.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
I'm not, that's as mayor, whether I want to get reelected or not, I'm not running again. I think I just made a statement right today that I haven't told on radio. I will
Right.
not run for mayor again.
Ah,
Yeah, it's we're dealing with a lot of different people, and seems like we don't want to get along anymore.
well, we just take one day at a time, and
That's what we're going to do with this budget. We're going to take it one day at a time.
all
I
right,
got a feeling we'll be back to the drawing table quicker than a lot of people think.
all right. Well, hopefully, the people will come together for the common good. All right, it's 8:30 or 7:30. I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and do another one of our commercials here. We have Vera and Rebecca Edwards.
Barry and Rebecca Richards are with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Now, what does that mean for you? That means you got a great team that's going to come to the table with you, whether you're buying or selling, or maybe you want to be mentored to be a realtor yourself. They would love to bring you in and make you part of the family, whether it be you're looking for a full-time change or just want to do something part-time. Now, if you're coming to the table as somebody that's selling, you've got to consider, get one chance to make a first impression. Barry's going to make sure you make that first impression absolutely perfectly. He is a Zillow certified photographer, licensed and insured drone pilot. We can do the 360-degree virtual reality home tours. We'll get you up on realtor.com. People are going to see your property. They're going to want to take a second look. Rebecca, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, which illustrates she studies all the time, staying up to date on what she needs to know to properly represent you. You can find them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy.robertsoncounty.com, or just give Becky a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, and always tell them U-Turn sent you. Barry and Rebecca Richards are with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Now, what does that mean for you? That means you got a great team that's going to come to the table with you, whether you're buying or selling.
All right. Very good, very good, very good. Well, let's see here. I got sent some things. I'm going to throw this back over to you. I'm going to just bring up a parents' meeting coming up here, August 24th at 6 o'clock at Purpose Life Church. Let's see here. If you are concerned about the state of education in Robertson County. So they're having a parents' meeting at Purpose Life Church at 805 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield, August 24th at 6 p.m. And that's just parents meeting together and going over some education things there. All right. So we have Billy Vogle, Mary Billy Vogle in studio, and I know you've got a lot more things to chat about, so I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay. We had 11 resolutions last night, other than the budget. The schools had one for fun where they're building, I think, another gym at Greenbrier. At Greenbrier, the highway had a resolution. The state gave us $1 million to pave roads. Well, it sounds great, and we're not going to turn it down, boy. I mean, it's needed, but $1 million won't pay but 10 miles. So it's $100,000 a mile now, and things are really costly, like ambulances and stuff and paving roads. But we're going to take it. They're going to pave a couple of roads, about 8 miles worth, and then keep 200 back in case something was to happen on another road. And then we had a budget amendment for our circuit court clerk. She's getting new software, which that comes through money that the state makes you take out of court cases. A lot of our things we have to do is state mandates and federal mandates. Sometimes I don't agree with them when when we're the ones that's got to pay for them. I don't like somebody telling us what we have to do, but to be sure that we're doing what the state wants us to do, we do have those mandates. All right. Two big things came up last night. We had a property tax freeze program limit. It was raised from 42,000 to 50,000. Next year it's going to be raised, I think, to 60, or maybe it's this year. Going to raise it till next year. If a family makes less than $60,000 a year, they can get their property tax income frozen and also we had a property tax freeze program where the county put money aside. If we freeze somebody's taxes, that means we're using one-time money. That money will never grow and be recurred. So we put money back to be sure that what we came up short of those taxes, because we did these tax freezes, that the rest of the county can still operate. That was something that you don't really see, but it's a very good program, because we do have people that have a hard time paying their bills, but when we do that, we're counting. That's revenue that we don't know how much it's going to affect us, so we put money back for that. We had surplus property at EMS, and of course, one of the best resolutions we had was a handler of the police K9. This dog has retired.
Oh,
This K9 dog, and he is being signed to his handler for the rest of his life. That was one of the coolest resolutions we had tonight. Yeah. And of course, we had some surplus property out of the election office, and that was voted on too. You know, in county government, when we buy a piece of something, when we get rid of it, there's got to be a resolution to get rid of it, just like it is to buy it. Every dot is I is dotted and T crossed. That's part of our. I respect county government as I do as much as any government there is. I think we do a great job, and all our counties are held to a high esteem by the state auditors. We went years with zero findings. We had one this year, but that was because we turned ourselves in on the wording in our handbook for our employees. Yeah. So other than that, I've got a few announcements. Look like we're moving right along. We had elections appointments of finance management and a zoning appeals board. We had a person from Adams that's going to serve on that. We hadn't had anybody in that direction in a long time to be on that appeals board. And, of course, the sheriff appoints the jail disciplinary review board, and we nominated them. We have a handicap advisory board. I found out when I got in office 4 years ago that we was not ADA compliance in a lot of our buildings. So we're putting money back every year out of our budget to improve these buildings to get them ADA compliance for our handicapped folks. And it was such a major undertaking that we didn't have the money to do it all in 1 year, but we're able to do it a little bit a year. And the state they're really happy with the progress we're making on that. Because when we started 4 years ago, we was way out of bounds. The ADA compliance report, I remember it was about $70,000 that the county had to pay. We didn't have that money budgeted because we didn't know we had to do it. So, you get surprises like that all year. It jumps up, whether it's a bridge falling in. We had a major store in Springfield. We had to pay them back $270,000 on a tax abatement that we did not see coming. That money was not budgeted, but every store of that kind in the state got a tax abatement through the state house in Nashville. So we didn't see that coming. There's things that you've got to have a debt service fund for. Well, rainy day money. You never know when it's going to rain. So, we was able to meet these problems because of the county setting good budgets. All right. In my communications, Jason Osborne, she's our Chamber of Commerce president, does a fantastic job. I mean, she is a spark plug. Her and Carly Rager has got something going all the time. They're having classes, or really it's called a leadership program for all the county commissioners and department heads for October 4th, 5th, and 6th from 8 to 5. And it's to care of the new county commissioners plus the old ones that hadn't been on the program about leadership and going all over the county and talking to our businesses, our farmers. I've been through leadership Robeson County, and it's very, very, even though you've been here all your life, if you've never been inside Electrolux or inside of, some of the businesses and the farming community, you don't understand what's going on. And you'll go see a small city and spend the day where you maybe don't know how a small city operates. So and then September 7th, we have another program for all our county commissioners where it's a class for education, learning Robert's Rules of Orders, and it's September 7th at Springfield Baptist Church. They always sponsor that. And then one of the coolest things we did was EMS Director Brent Dyer recognized the Orlando Fire Chief and his wife, Dusty Johnson, for their 30-year service. And, of course, on top of that, we had Richard Head, our chief deputy. He's second in command to the sheriff. He's retiring, been 30 years service in Robbs County, and he started out at the Robbs County Fire Department when he was down there at the fairgrounds.
Wow.
So we recognized him for his 30-year service and hate to lose him because he's been doing a great job. And I'm about to wrap up here. I don't know how you wrap up that quick.
I know. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That was special to see them, to honor them. I don't know how you could really honor them enough, giving 30 years of your life in service. That's a beautiful
I can tell you,
hearts.
down there at the fire department, in Robbs County, their pay probably wasn't very great. We have come a long way with the fire department. At that time, that was the fire department at the fairgrounds, and it served the whole county. So if you lived out there toward the state line of Kentucky or down there toward Cheatham County line, you was probably 30 or 40 minutes from seeing a fire engine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That problem's been fixed. Same way with our ambulance. We had the ambulance service right here in the middle of Springfield. And if you lived out toward Guthrie, you was 45 minutes from seeing an ambulance. Well, them days is over.
Yeah.
10 minutes probably.
I know,
most.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the difference between life and death, isn't it?
Right. And yeah.
It is.
And
so
doing services, yeah.
And doing services the right way. Well, okay, I'm going to take a quick break and let you relook over your notes and bring us some more information. We'll do another commercial here. In Corbin Creek. Cumberland Connect, that is a hot topic, so let's hear from them.
Robertson County, it is time to join the gig club. Get Cumberland Connect. If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, well, good news. You can join me in the gig club, and you can have a full gig for just $80, high-speed internet that will blow you away. If you're like me and you've had terrible internet service for far too long, well, it's time to get in the gig club. Now, what you do is you go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your zip code, cumberlandconnect.org, and it'll tell you if they're in your neighborhood already or when they're going to be in your neighborhood. You can also just call them and ask the question, 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. And if you're somebody in these areas, if you're a Cumberland Electric customer and you're having some financial struggles, well, because internet is now a utility, there's an affordable connectivity program providing qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you could receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services. And they have packages starting at, you guessed it, $30 per month. Be a part of the gig club or just get into high-speed internet with Cumberland Connect. CumberlandConnect.org. Tell them U-Turn sent you.
Okay, we're back in house. I love the options. Back in the day, we had cassette tapes and CDs and VHS, and then along came different things and put the VHS stores out of Blockbusters and things out of business. So it's a new day. I think that it's important that you're preparing for change and the unexpected coming in. And
yeah, when I first got elected, that bridge fell in, and we hadn't. You can't insure bridges. Right there was $1 million, and it completely depleted the fund balance of the highway department.
wow.
All their rainy day money was gone just like that. So we was able, the county, we gave them $200,000 to put back in that account to help them out in case, praise the Lord, I didn't know the bridge fall down since, but that don't mean it won't. And they're getting that fund balance back up to where if emergency happens, that we can make it through it. Rainy day money, it's very important to the counties. Plus the state regulates us that we got to have so much money in savings. Savings is not a good word, but that's what everybody thinks it is. Because if the economy went south, I remember in 2008, I had employees asking me, are we going to get a raise this year? And I had to tell them, I said, I don't know if you're going to be able to save your job. we the whole country was flat. Interest rates had got up, and the economy's just completely stopped. And our revenue coming in were from commercial really tightened up. And you know, it was a tough time. You could not raise taxes, but then we had to really do some cutting. But you can only cut so much because most of our money goes towards school construction. We spend $15 million a year on our bills that we paid from building schools. So in 2027, if we can get there, we will lose 50% of our debt. And that's a big.
That would be huge.
That's huge, yes. Thank you. Hey, I don't know if we're going to make it. It don't sound like we're going to make it. You know, I know the numbers in the schools may not be where people thinks it is. It don't think it's rising. It is rising, but not like we're thinking. But I notice the schools are offering so many different type of classes. And the state of Tennessee says for every 20 kids, we got to have a classroom. So, you know, the governor's getting the teachers' raises up, and he's also raising the salaries of the state troopers. You can get $65,000 a year right out of the academy with no experience. So the sheriffs and all our police departments are very worried that we're going to lose a lot of folks to the THP. So it's a battle you fight all the time, trying to keep these first responders and these essential workers in
Yes,
place,
the
in
officers.
place.
You've got such a vast group of officers and first responders coming from different areas.
If it wasn't for our nonprofits helping us, and something that we're starting right now, because the opioid debate lawsuit, we're starting the drug court through Judge Perry. We was able to give him a good lump of sum of money out of that debate, out of that opioid lawsuit money, and he's going to build a building on Robbs County land that be a house for rehab.
Awesome.
Right now, all you got is go to jail and you get put in rehab. He's
Right.
Gonna be if they go to court and it look like they have a problem, he can put them in rehab and them still keep their job, you know, and go to rehab at
He
night.
does a remarkable job with that recovery program. That would just be adding to that,
Yeah.
giving people a hand up.
Yeah, that's something that's going to
That'll be
be
huge.
starting pretty quick. And let me tell you something, it's bad needed.
It is.
I had to sign off on autopsies every month.
Oh.
And I didn't know it and I'm going to tell you, 80% of them drug overdoses. It's
But if they had an option, if they had a hand up and some accountability,
they had an option, and
you know,
it's that's something taxpayers don't see either. That runs way over $200,000 a year.
I know the recovery program that Judge Perry is running is remarkable. I've been to the graduations, I've seen the changes. And then we also have several churches. We have South Haven that has a wonderful recovery program and covenant confirmers. So we do have some volunteer things, but it is definitely needed.
Churches have houses all over the county. And, through that, and I know people say, well, maybe this dangerous or something. No, it's not dangerous.
No.
We as people need to encourage to try to help folks. And then Costa in the Isaiah house. When the officers go in these houses at night and arrest their parents or whatever, these kids are at the mercy of the state then. And sometimes they're having to sit on couches and sleep in floors, where these two organizations will take them and put them in a safe environment, feed them until a foster home can come
And
up.
give them what they need. I was talking with one of the ones from the Isaiah house just a couple nights ago, and I think that is a remarkable stepping stone because, again, it's a situation that is here. You can't ignore it. It's not going away, but you can help bridge the gap and make it a little bit better outcome. Is that what I'm hearing you're saying?
Yeah, it's if you want to give to a nonprofit, I mean, there's some out there that's really
There's
great.
some really good ones.
And they come around, and I see different clubs. They do things, and there's things out there whether it's Cope, Father's House it feeds, and there's things out there if you want to participate. It's there if you want to be involved. Animal control, we could use volunteers out there all the time. We're in fact, if you need a pet, go out there. We are building a new one, and the reason we had to was because of the conditions of the old one. When we got into animal control, we wasn't fixed up like we needed to be. But the new one we're building, it's going to be finished, I think, by the end of September. And I want everybody to go out there and visit that and volunteer, because we had animals that was in there for a year, not adopted because they was in the court system.
Wow.
It's nothing to go to a house and pick up 37 dogs at one time.
Oh my goodness, mercy! I know the. So is it going to be built in the same place that it was?
It's right across the road, and my plans is a lady that spades animals for practically half price. We're going to fix her up across the road from where the old animal control was to serve the public.
So
spade.
the critter fitters or fixers or whatever, are you talking about them? Because I know that
the young lady that runs it, I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
I saw that actually this morning, that they were wanting to get a building so that they could give affordable spaying and neutering to Robertson County.
Because I'm going to tell you, we don't have an animal control problem. We got a people problem. People won't take care of their pets.
Yeah, I have the puppy that I have was a drop off. Let's see. I don't know if I have.
One time I had 6 dropped off. And then people said,
wow.
well, they're going out in the country.
Yeah, but then we're out in the country and they got to eat.
Well, I was told that people out in the country would carry their dogs in the city and drop them off. And I thought, well, not at my house. Them dogs they're coming out of the city, I believe. So, and we're running animal control for 2 or 3 different cities too. So them, gosh, we spent $300,000, and I promise you, the first week it's going to be full again.
Yeah, it will. So you're going to build in the end of September, and then hopefully you're going to give something to the critter fixers, because I've used them to spay my cats and different things, and it would be good to have a nice clean location to let them operate in. I think they're a great
we put
program.
it out for bid 3 times. And it kept coming back higher than what we budgeted.
Okay.
And we'd make it a little smaller, send it out again. Finally, the 3rd time, we just said, hey, we can't keep doing this, because before you know it, the building ain't going to be no bigger than what we got.
Yeah.
So we had to put some more money with it, and it'll be finished in September.
It is needed, but so is the little clinic to spay and neuter, because we don't want the replica of all of that. So.
Like this week, the heat.
Oh my goodness!
These animals was in a building that very little ventilation, and it's what we're talking about. Heat. Remember your pets at home too.
Yes.
Give them in some shade or something. For crying out loud.
Water
and think about your kids. And I noticed we're talking about the kids with no air conditioning on the buses. And hey, these kids are pretty tough. They'll roll them windows down and hang out. So we was talking last night. Some men, the older commissioners, remember not even having an air conditioner when we was kids.
I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, we didn't even have them in the air conditioner in the house. Yeah,
I don't know how they did it.
Different type of people.
Yes, well, anyway. All right, let me run our last commercial break here. We have the Veterans Motorplex, and I love supporting the veterans.
Here in Robertson County, if you want to have a great time with your family, get out to Veterans Motorplex. This is the old Highland Rim Speedway you're familiar with at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Jerry wants to invite you and your entire family out. He's even got a free pass for you. If you find one of these Let's Talk Trash magazines that they put out at the end of the school year, you can still find them around town, but that back page is a free pass to get up to 6 kids and 2 adults in for free anytime during the entire 2023 race season. Bring your family out. Gates open at 4. Racing starts up at 6, and you will have so much fun. Come hungry. They got a great concession stand. They have all kinds of events and things for the kids throughout the race season. Follow them on Facebook at Highland Rim Speedway, and that way you can stay up to date on everything that's going on at Veterans Motorplex. A great way to spend your Saturday evening with your kids, with your family, with your friends through the end of October. Get to the races today. Saturday is race day, and when you go out, tell them U-Turn sent you.
Thousands of our most precious treasures.
All right, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm glad you're taking care of the puppies and the kitties in Robertson County.
Let me give a handout to Jerry Griswold up at the Veterans Motorplex.
Yes, please.
He has done a great job. When I was a kid, we used to go to races all the time. My dad was crazy about stock car racing, and he'd carry me to Ridgetop in Nashville. And boy, let me tell you, one time Ridgetop was pretty tough with the fighting in the infield and everything. But Jerry has cleaned that thing up. He's got family night. and he's got a great thing out there, and he's willing to work with the schools. You know, if you got something that the schools want to have, he'll have a race night for like anything you want to do. So help him out, and you know, give him some business, because Jerry's a great guy. And you know, speaking about our veterans, Terry Wilson, he's retired, but Terry done a great job for us too.
Yes, he has.
Veteran service, we put him in the bottom floor at the office building, and he has brought in, gosh, I think last count, close to $40 million into Robeson County for veterans. So, you know, thank them every day. When you see one, thank him. Old Buzzer and all that crowd, they do a good job.
They do, and we do appreciate the veterans very, very, very much. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm wrapped up.
I'm telling you, they said you was going to have a lot of stuff to talk about, so we only have a couple more minutes. Let's see. Let me touch on a couple things coming up then. We have, I guess I better change this over. There we go. All right. We have at Springfield, South Haven Baptist Church, 116 Academy Drive, we have the Springfield Gospel Music Sampler. Who doesn't like bluegrass and country and hymns and Southern gospel? It's going to be August 31st, Thursday evening, starting at 7. The doors will open at 6:30. The admission is free, but they're gonna take up a love offering. So Springfield Gospel Music Sampler at South Haven on August 31st, 7 o'clock, 116 Academy Drive. And then we have the teacher meeting coming up this Thursday, the 24th, at Purpose Life Church at 6 o'clock. And that's for parents that are interested in, education. I know that we have the Chet with the homeschool, and I know our very own Lee Marie and Stephen are going to both be teaching there. So if you have children, you might want to check it out and see what you can get involved in. I know she's teaching dance and singing and acting and line dancing and going to do a big production. How fun is that? So
remember the fair, Robertson County Fair?
Yes, Robertson County Fair.
It's if you haven't seen the fair book this year, it is super nice. Somebody's done a great job putting out that fair book about all the categories that the FFA kids get involved in with their animals. I know ladies that's always cut their flowers and carried them. Who's got the biggest watermelon? Pies and cakes and canned goods.
Yum.
Hey, be sure to go to Robeson County Fair to see these exhibits. It's whatever you do inside our cities, the money you spend goes toward Robeson County.
So shop local.
Yeah, I'm big, and I'm big on tourism too. Like I said, I like to see people come in here and spend their money, and then they'll wave bye to you when they go back home. Tourism is very important. 3% of your motel tax goes to our industrial board, which finds jobs for us in Robeson County. People that work here spend their money here. So I'm big on that too. The industrial board, they're doing some good things, and it's really grown since I've been a mayor for 5 years. It's really branched out. Thank all these people that serve in county government, because it's not easy, folks. It's not easy.
I agree with you on that one.
I'm done. Y'all have a good
day. Well, if you're never going to be bored in this county, in this city, go check out.
There's always something to do.
Libraries and all of that. Well, it's been very good to have you here.
Yeah,
thank you for coming in and sharing with us and all your hard work.
Yeah.
And
go back to work today.
Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And so we're coming to the end of our program here. We've got about 1 minute. Anything else you want to touch on?
Just tell everybody stay cool. And, if you see somebody that needs some help, just stop and see if you can help them out. Because we do have homeless people in Robeson County.
Yes, we do.
That's just a part of our world we live in. And I think all of us could do probably more in what we do, because time's the hardest thing to give up.
It's your most valuable asset.
We don't like to give up our time. Sometimes our money is easy, but time is hard to do.
Yes, sir. And I agree with the temperatures that are coming up. Make sure that you stay hydrated, half your body weight in water in, ounces a day minimum. And
barns are smoking, so it means it's football time in Tennessee.
It means don't call the emergency. They're not on fire. We got a lot of newbies. Okay, when I first came here, I'm like, oh my goodness. You can laugh. I saw the little meme on Smoky Barnes about that, but it's true. So stay hydrated, folks, and stay inside as much as you can. Stay cool. But if you feel like you see someone, get some water on, get them cooled down inside and outside, and stay hydrated. All right. I think we've come to the end of the time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
And you all have a blessed day out there in Robertson County. Okay. And
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
I gotta go dog spinning.
Okay.
You have a good day, okay?
You too. Thank you.